Imagine this. Mercedes shuts the door on Max Verstappen. Suddenly, he's got fewer escape routes. What happens if Red Bull's brand new powertrain project collapses? That's the tension brewing as F1 heads into Spa, and you're about to hear why everything could hang on two names, Russell and Antonelli. Let's set the scene. Over the past weeks, whispers have circulated that Mercedes might chase Verstappen once his exit clause becomes active. Yet Toto Wolff has made one thing crystal clear. 2026 won't see a dramatic driver shakeup. Their absolute priority is sticking with George Russell and their rookie sensation, Kimi Antonelli, F1i.com. Despite this public confidence, George Russell still doesn't have a confirmed contract beyond 2025. Wolff insists progress is being made, but no signature has yet been put on paper. Grand Prix, Sky Sports. Meanwhile, Mercedes maintains a direct line of communication with Verstappen's camp just in case. But the focus for now remains firmly on Russell and Antonelli. Crash.net, Sky Sports. At Red Bull, drama isn't far behind. The team recently replaced Christian Horner with Laurent Mekies amid turbulent internal affairs and performance setbacks. They've just begun a massive new chapter, designing their own power unit in partnership with Ford for 2026. And insiders believe this project is behind schedule and may struggle to match Ferrari or Mercedes in the first year. News.com.au. Helmut Marko has since insisted Max Verstappen is fully committed to Red Bull until at least 2026. Yet he's also wrapped in speculation that Spa and Hungary upgrades might be Red Bull's last chance to convince Max that their 2026 project is worth staying for. Diario AS. Here's where it gets tense. From Mercedes' seat, the logical assumption seems simple. Russ and Antonelli will drive together in 2026. They represent youth, continuity, and internal stability. Wolff reportedly decided on that pairing 5 minutes after Hamilton announced his move to Ferrari, Formula One, the official F1 website. But speculation remains. Does Wolff still consider Verstappen for the future? He says he has interest in a multi-champion like Verstappen, but pairing Max with Russell is far-fetched and not part of immediate plans. Formula One - the official F1 website. Yet earlier in the 2025 season, Wolff publicly admitted that pursuing Max wasn't on any radar, refusing to flirt outside a good relationship with his current drivers, Sky Sports. Now more guarded but open about conversations behind closed doors, he says discussions are ongoing but not definitive for 2026, Sky Sports. Meanwhile, at Red Bull, pressure increases. Their powertrain will debut under brand new regulations, and there's zero room for error. Former team principal Horner warned it would be embarrassing if their Ford-derived engines outperformed rivals, but he also recognized how monumental a task catching up really is. News.com.au. That only adds to the story. Failure to deliver might push Verstappen out the door when his exit clause becomes viable midway through the season. Add to that, Horner's sacking has sent shockwaves across the team. Analysts say it may have been partly influenced by pressure from within Verstappen's camp. That raises questions about the internal dynamics at Red Bull and whether renewed chaos will push Max toward another challenge. TalkSport, news.com.au. Firstly, Mercedes looks like the safest harbor. With Russ and Antonelli in place, they project stability and clarity. That's attractive to sponsors, engineers, and investors heading into the big regulation changes in 2026. But it also locks out Verstappen, reducing his options beyond Red Bull. If Red Bull's 2026 car is flawed or slow, Max may be stuck, unless that exit clause gives him an escape in 2027 or 2028. At Red Bull, the stakes couldn't be higher. Verstappen's data shows he's responsible for nearly all of Red Bull's results in recent years. Should he leave or struggle with a weak car, it exposes the fact that their second drivers have historically failed to fill in his shoes. News.com.au, The Times. That means Red Bull needs not only to stabilize internally under Mickey's, but also deliver a reliable, competitive powertrain. Otherwise, they risk falling behind and losing their marquee driver. But Marco says they have Maxim's commitment, citing Spa and Hungary upgrades as pivotal tests. Diario AS. From a broader view, F1 dynamics for 2026 hinge on this triangle. Red Bull must prove the engine works. Mercedes must judge whether locking in its current lineup is safer than chasing a four-time world champion. And Verstappen must decide whether loyalty to Red Bull outweighs potential success elsewhere, or if patience will pay off until 2027. Let's break down the personalities and their motivations. First, Toto Wolff. He's focused on a clear future, nurturing youth and continuity. Yes, talks with Verstappen have happened, but only as a possibility, not a plan. He often references past rookie misfires, refusing to repeat them by signing a non-program driver. Wolff is pragmatic. He wants performance and trust, and in his mind, that's with Russell and Antonelli for now. Formula One, the official Formula One website, Forbes.com. Russell, meanwhile, is playing it cool but cautious. He's aware talks are ongoing, though his seat driver remains the presumed favorite. That uncertainty could motivate him to push harder or leave a door open just in case. Leads. Antonelli is the wild card, a teenage Italian sensation fast-tracked into F1. He offers ambition, a fresh narrative, and long-term project value. But at just 18 and early in his career, he's a developmental risk. Mercedes has positioned him as the centerpiece of future growth, yet that might crumble if they decide to chase biggest name instead. Wikipedia, Grand Prix. On Red Bull's side, Max Verstappen is pragmatic and results-driven. He claims he stays as long as the car keeps him at the sharp end. He has stated he could race well into his 30s if the team remains competitive. If not, that exit clause will beckon. The Sun. He's seen the unrest behind the scenes. Horner's exit, delays to the Ford engine, internal tensions. He may feel forced to hedge his future. Christian Horner's dismissal is equally about power dynamics. Pundits suggest Verstappen and his camp may have advocated for stronger leadership and clarity, something he may have lost faith in. Now Red Bull must prove stability in a hornless era or risk losing their greatest asset. TalkSport. What do we expect next? Spa and Hungary upgrades. These are more than race bits. They're test cases. If the RB21 shows marked improvement or stability, Red Bull may convince Max to stay. If not, alarm bells ring. Contract timeline. Russell's deal remains unsigned. Mercedes must soon commit or risk unrest. If they delay too long while only negotiating one-year deals, as they did with Hamilton, it creates friction and speculation. Grand Prix, Sky Sports. 2026 engine rollout. Red Bull powertrains with Ford must deliver. If their old wind tunnel or delayed builds hamper development and reliability or performance gaps appear versus Mercedes and Ferrari, it could force Max's hand. Wikipedia. Aston Martin remains the only other plausible contender, but they've locked in Alonso and Lance Stroll for 2026. If Max wants out sooner, he'd face a wait until 2027, plus possible internal conflict that may destabilize Aston Martin's long-term plans. Verstappen's clause, falling below fourth in the standings after mid-season Hungarian GP could trigger it. That makes Oscar Piastri's dominance and Verstappen's form even more critical in the next races. In short, Mercedes closing the door on Max effectively narrows his decision tree to stay or gamble on building with Red Bull. If Red Bull's powertrain works and the upgrades deliver, loyalty wins. If not, Red Bull risks losing its megastar, whose departure would drastically reshape F1's competitive and marketing dynamics. So what do you think? Is Mercedes wise to focus on Russell and Antonelli, trusting the future? Or are they losing a once-in-a-generation opportunity by not aggressively pursuing Verstappen? And will Red Bull deliver a better package fast enough to keep their champion happy? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And once you do that, click on the video appearing on your screen right now.